Hi, my name is Christine, and I'm in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I own an alternative lifestyle club named Wonderland. And it's all inclusive, meaning that we accept everybody, LGBTQ plus, poly, BDSM, and swingers, and so many more. Trans, cross, um, just all kinds of people. I like a lot of people. People are cool. I like a lot of people. So in 1987, I saw a movie called Raising Arizona. It's with Nicolas Cage, and it's about this movie about this couple who couldn't have children. So they went and they kidnapped a kid from this multiple birth rich family, and they go through all of these things, and it's actually a really funny movie. But that was my first exposure to the swinging ideology. So they get invited to this swingers party. It's a key party. And if you don't know what a key party is when all the guys put their car keys in a bowl, the ladies go and they pull a set of keys out, and that's who they're going with home with that night. We don't have those kind of parties anymore because well, first of all, consent, and taking one for the team is not cool. So we've evolved since 1987 with the key parties, but that was pretty much my exposure to swinging as it was back then. So we're talking today about the things that you should be considering if you're thinking about getting into swinging. So I've always said that the platform of swinging needed to be on a very strong platform. So swinging is basically your floors, your walls, and your roof. Your relationship is your floors, your walls, and your roof, and swinging is your vase. It's the decor that you use in your home. It's not necessary. Your foundation is already there. Your walls are really well built. Your roof is on. You just like these pretty little things that make your home look nice, but they're not necessary. So swinging shouldn't be a necessity to a relationship, basically, is what I'm saying. So when a lot of people are considering getting into relationships, they consider it for a lot of different reasons. Some of them are good, and some of them are probably not a good idea. So that's what we're going to start with today. So a lot of people get into swinging because they don't want to cheat or they don't want to split up their marriage. So so you really need to have your foundation, you really need to have your walls, and you really need to have your roof. So using swinging as a way, now there's going to be somebody that argues me, because there's always somebody that argues with me because I'm argumentative, but there's going to be a lot of people that say that they got into swinging and it saved their relationship. The people that have told me this, I have seen your relationships, they're not that great. So I do think that those types of people that are getting into swinging to save their marriage, they think it's going to save their marriage. On average, I have seen, and I've been in the lifestyle quite a long time. On average, I have seen that those relationships really just only last about 5 years. I have no idea what just happened to my music. So it's not really a good reason on why you should get into swinging. You really want to have that foundation, those walls, and that roof. So not splitting up, not cheating, and not getting divorced is not a great reason to get into swinging. Do people do it? Fuck yes, they do. Because there's no real rules about reasons on why you should get into swinging. Everybody does it for different reasons. So by all means, if you think that it's going to save your marriage, you might be the one and only person that it actually does. I just don't think people should try to save their marriage with other people. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't. It's just going to create some jealousy and insecurity. It doesn't work. Some people get into swinging because they're bisexual. Now, since 2005 and 2017, male sexuality has become more mainstream than it ever has before, which is fucking amazing. So you might have a married couple where the female or the male is bisexual. That's fucking great. That's amazing. So they might decide that they're going to get into either a swinger or a polyamorous type relationship, open or whatever. So that is an okay reason, as long as you have your walls, your foundation, and your roof in place. As long as your relationship is secure. And both partners might be bisexual. It might just be one partner, maybe just the male or maybe just the female. So it's, swinging could open up those doors for something that you might be looking into. Some people might get into swinging because their sex life is dead, but their bond is really, really good. I mean, if you've been married a long time, some couples lose that flame. Can it be rekindled? Definitely. Can swinging help rekindle that? If it's got a good bond, yeah, I think it probably possibly could. If you have two people that deeply care about each other and they have an already very satisfactory life, but their sex life is like, and they might feel connected on every levels but sexuality. That's okay. You can experiment with swinging, open relationships, polyamorous, and even BDSM. Because BDSM doesn't always mean that you're going to have sex with other people, and swinging doesn't mean that you're going to have sex with other people. You could have sex with your partner in the same room while somebody else is having sex. Swinging doesn't mean that you have to have sex with other people. You could do voyeur exhibitionism. You could just watch people, have people watch you as you're having sex. There's so many varying degrees of all of this, and there's so much crossover, from vanilla to open to swing to poly to BDSM to cuckold to LGBTQ plus. So definitely those dynamics are there. If you have a bond that is already good, but your sex life is kind of not that great, you can definitely look into swinging. Swinging doesn't mean that you have to have sex with other people. Some people get into swinging because they have kids and they don't want to end their marriage. I recommend for anybody that is staying in a relationship because they have kids, or they're staying in a relationship because they feel obligated because maybe their partner is sick, or they're staying into a relationship because they did the whole death to do you part. I really think that those people that feel that they're missing something, that maybe first they go get counseling. It never works. It never works. I never got into swinging with my ex because we were never, ever, ever on a stable foundation. That's why we never got into swinging. That's why I very limitedly allowed him to do BDSM on me, because I just didn't trust him. And you really have to have that trust. You really have to have that and he didn't communicate. So you have to have that communication. You have to have that trust. You have to have that foundation. Otherwise, it all goes to shit. It just doesn't work like that. Maybe your partner is an exhibitionist, or they're into voyeurism. Swinging is huge on voyeurism and exhibitionism. It can be a huge thrill. You don't have to have sex with other people. You could just go to a swing club and watch people having sex and totally chicka wow wow with your partner. So it is a way of fulfilling certain fantasies, especially if you're a voyeur or an exhibitionist. You're into jealousy or competition. So yeah, okay, yeah, you can totally get into swinging if you're into that jealousy and competition. That's what gets you aroused. So let me explain this. So some people have a certain level of jealousy and competition that makes them feel aroused, and swinging provides this with safe and clear boundaries. And you have to have those safe and clear boundaries. There are people that get a thrill off of feeling jealous without the anger that comes with being cheated on. So if you get that arousal from being jealous or being competitive, I was in a dynamic like this early in 2003. I was with a couple, and I had a girlfriend and I had a boyfriend at the time, and we were poly and swing and whatever, and we met this other couple that the wife was very competitive, and it totally turned me off, but she was just basically nobody can blah, 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 I'm the shit, and I'm like, I'm the fuck out. Don't do that. It's too much. Some people get into swinging because they're a rule breaker. I don't understand that one. There aren't no real clear, concise rules other than honesty, transparency, communication, and you shouldn't be breaking those rules. You were not meant for monogamy. So I asked a lot of people, so I did my Instagram and asked people, why do people get into swinging? And these are the reasons. Okay, I can totally get that. If you're getting into swinging because you're not into monogamy, I totally get that. You shouldn't get into swinging if you feel like you're trapped. Sex isn't emotional for you. For some people, sex and emotion do not go hands in hands. Some people, sex is sex and emotion is emotion, and love is different. You can have sex and you can have love and you can have emotion and you have commitment, and then you cannot have all those things. Sex can just be an act. It doesn't have to be all these other things wrapped into it. It could just be an orgasm. So for some people, sex and emotional do not go hand in hand. Sex is really a pleasurable act, while emotion is something totally different. So yeah, if you feel that sex isn't emotional for you, definitely. But women, here's the thing with women though. So women naturally are not designed to have casual relationships. There's going to be somebody that argues with me. So after we have sex and after we have an orgasm, we get a release of all these chemical components that make us fall in love. That's why you've seen those movies, those horror movies where the guy has sex with this girl and she's like, I love you. So that's not our fault. It's just the way it works. So for a lot of women, sex is more. It's very much tied into our emotions. Not saying that women shouldn't get into swinging. It's just everybody needs to realize that after we climax, there's all these things that get released into our system that really make us want to fall in love and have babies. Divorce is on the table. Again, we're going back to that. If you're trying to save something, it doesn't work. It will end very, very quickly. Eventually. I say 5 years. If you don't have that platform, you don't have those walls, you don't have that roof, swinging is just not gonna. Swinging is divorce, and swinging do not go hand in hands. You're ready to join a great community. So the swinger community is a lot more than just sex. There's so many dynamics. We have voyeurism, exhibitionism. We have same room swap. We have freaking different room swap. We have soft play, hard play, soft swap, hard swap. There's just you can come into a swingers community and not have sex with anybody and still be classified as a swinger. You can be single and come in and still be classified as a swinger. They have such a huge spectrum of where everybody fits. It's great because if you take into consideration all of these communities, lifestyle communities, BDSM, poly, swinging, cuckold, all of those dynamics have their puzzles. And you can take all these puzzle pieces and you can make one picture. Just one. Or you can take this puzzle piece from this picture, and this puzzle piece from this picture, and this puzzle piece from this picture. Put them all together because they fit. They just fit. They fit together and you have this whole new picture of what your dynamic is supposed to be. So you can take and you can take and you can take and you can make your own puzzle, your own picture. And I think that's where a lot of people get confused because we have all these great things, and you can just pull from all these great communities, and you can join all these really amazing communities, and you don't have to identify as swinger, as BDSM, as polyamorous, as cuckold, as hot wife, as LGBTQ, as trans, as cross, as you can pick what you want from all these great communities to make it individualized to you. It's like fucking car insurance. Not really, but let's just say it is. So you want to join all these great communities. So I always recommend that you never stop saying, you know, in the beginning I was like, oh no, I'm not into BDSM and blah, 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 and da 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 da. Realistically, I fucking love BDSM more than anything. Uneven sex drives bore you. So let's say like you're with your significant other and they don't have as much as a sex drive as you. Swinging might be able to help with that. Maybe your partner doesn't have a high as a sex drive as you do. Maybe your person needs more of that friendship, that emotional support from another person. You can get emotional support from a community of swinging, BDSM, LGBT, whatever. You can get emotional support because that's what they do. They're you know, they're just ever evolving, constantly evolving. So definitely. If you feel like you need to be fulfilled, okay. If you're feeling like you're not getting fulfillment from your relationship, I think that it's okay as long as both people that are in the relationship are okay with it, and that there is a clear, clean lines of communication, boundaries, rules, and all that stuff. Swinging is meant to enhance a relationship. It's the decor of your home. It's supposed to make it look nice and pretty. Obviously, you're going to have vases that are also in your relationship. You can have all these different things, like I said, building puzzle pieces. And then last but not least, in your mind, marriage and sex are separated. So some people see marriage as an institution, and that is strictly about raising children in a stable environment, and other logistical factors. They don't really see sex and marriage as the same thing. Both parties may or may not feel this way. One party may or may not feel this way. But it's a natural decision for you and your partner to explore if you're ever going to explore anything like that. So you really need to have. So what are the things that you need to have if you're going to start swinging? Rules, boundaries, clear communications, and negotiations. Those are the 4 things that you should start off with when you are getting into the swinging community. If you already have a strong foundation, if you do not have a strong foundation, what do you need to get into swinging? A marriage counselor. You should get that strong foundation, those walls, that roof, that flooring put in before you consider adding any people into it, because nobody wants to come into a relationship that is not secure. And that's just the way it works. You don't want to involve other people until you can get what's here in order. Then you can bring people in. Marriage is not saved by swinging. It might help it for a little while, but eventually it won't. All right, so that is pretty much all that I have to say for today. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope that you have an amazing day. Please remember, be good to yourselves and be good to each other. And remember that anything in this lifestyle you can pull to make it catered to you. Thank you very much and have a great day. I don't know where my little button is.